race fans. We are at the first race of the playoffs. As a matter of fact, practice is now on. I guess because rain or something today, they moved practice up. I don't know if it affects tomorrow night, if they're expecting rain tomorrow night. I haven't looked that up. But let's look at these points. Here's what I take from this. Tyler Reddick, 7th in points. Alex Bowman, 9th in points. Both fighting for their playoff right at the last race being Daytona. That's insane. Um, Something's got to be done with this playoff system. We've got to get it in check, and we'll get into that just a little bit. Because if you look on the regular season points, Austin Dillon is down at 25th, and Shane Van Gisbergen is at 24th, and they're both in the playoffs. I don't like it. I know Shane has four wins. I should have put that over there in the playoffs. But looking at the playoff points the way they are, well, I guess the regular point system, I mean, I think they about got it right as far as like how good someone is. Other than, Priest, I don't think has ran that good. Chastain hasn't ran that good. Cindric hasn't ran that good. I mean, 12 up, I guess, yeah. And then the real stinker is Chris Buescher's not even in the playoffs and he's 10th in points. That's that makes your season a failure and you're 10th in points. I mean, at how close these cars are, 10th in points is pretty good. I mean, it's not elite, but it is good. As a car owner and a sponsor, I'll take 10th in points. One thing I do not like is stage points. We constantly hear these commentators talk about strategy. Dude, strategy don't get to unfold for the whole race, and that's the big thing. The only place we saw strategy was Indianapolis. Strategy and pit crew. That that won the race for Bubba Wallace. I'm sure there's been a few other places, but as far as pit stops and the timing of like fuel mileage, I hate saying that too. There's not much tire wear at Indianapolis either, though. I don't know, man. The racing is exciting for the most part. The leader has should have the advantage, but the amount of advantage that the leader does have, too much. Um, the second column there is my breakdown of stage points, and I like the way these points break down. Other than Chase Briscoe being in fifth, um, you can see that Bubba Wallace lived off stage points. Ryan Blaney lived off stage points. William Byron lived off stage points. And then Austin Cindric, the biggest loser without having stage points, nine. He drops 9 places. I, I don't know, man. I mean, it pretty much is keeping everybody the same. Ryan Priest, so it goes up 2 spots when you take away stage. Ryan Priest must have had a more consistent year than what people are giving him credit for. Or quiet consistency this year. Um, that's That's real good for Priest. Some people who didn't live off stage points: Austin Dillon. Uh, I guess then you got Chase Briscoe. I did not realize that he was having the year he is having. Um, I, he's always there at the end though, but like I guess because he's not a Hendrick car or Blaney or Hamlin, he doesn't really get talked about. I mean, Joey Logano, you would think sometimes he's having another championship season, and he's back there with Bubba and Ty and Priest. I just you take away stage points. I'm even a Bubba Wallace fan, but I like the way it breaks down. Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Briscoe, Hamlin, Blaney, Buscher's in eighth, Reddick, the no-win Reddick and no-win Buscher, eighth and ninth. Do that, and then, but we'll get in the playoffs here in a minute. Our playoff seeding heading in tomorrow night: Kyle Larson first, William Byron second. Here's what I don't like. I don't think the regular season champion should be second. I think the regular season champion should be at least even with playoff points with whoever is. How do I explain that? When they give playoff points, if someone were to pass the regular season champion, the regular season champion should just be even. Should get the same amount of points. I know that's like, but he didn't earn them. But he was regular season champion. He shouldn't start second. He should be on top heading the playoffs. Denny Hamlin third, like that. I like that. I like Blaney, and Blaney has 7 DNFs, y'all. 7, and he is. We're lucky. Ryan Blaney has 7 DNFs this year. Christopher Bell. Yeah, I like it, but I would rather have seen. If I was seeding just out of what I've seen this year, I would put Chase ahead of Christopher Bell. Shane Van Gisberg with an 18 place jump to get the 6th seed in the playoffs. Dude, someone's going to get knocked out more than likely just because Shane is seated that high. But he's not. I think he's only like plus 6 points ahead of the cut, so it's not that big of a deal. But in my opinion, it is. Chase Briscoe 8th, Bubba Wallace 9th. I would do Chase 8th, Tyler 9th, Bowman 10th, and then Bubba 11th. I guess I'm just doing power rankings. Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain, Josh Berry. Josh Berry. I haven't talked about Josh Berry. He had a win earlier in the year. Cosmo, I am trying to do something. I forgot all about Josh Berry. That's how. Oh well, he's in, right? You win, you win. Don't like it. Top 10 should be in, regardless. Chris Buescher, you whatever. Chris Buescher got really, really. Oh, what in the world? Oh, that's a replay. I'm like, man, they are wrecking in practice replay. Anyways, sorry. Dylan, when he should be 16th. No one should be below Dylan or Shane. Shane and Dylan should be 14th and 16th, or 15th and 16th. My power rankings: William Byron, regular season champion. He's got to be first. Ryan Blaney finished the regular season second in points with 7 DNFs. He's got to be number 2. Kyle Larson, the best in the world. Got to put him at number 3 because at any time he can come alive. Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, you can put those two in any other way. Um, Chase Elliott, 4th. I've definitely put Tyler Reddick ahead of Chase. Briscoe. Um, Briscoe, Logano, Bowman, uh, the non-playoff driver Chris Buescher at 11th, Ross Chastain, then Bubba Wallace. I Now I will say this: I think anybody in the playoffs from Bubba up on my power rankings has the ability to win the playoffs. Excuse me. Austin Cindric 14th, and then another non-playoff Ryan Preece, and then Ty Gibbs. Those are my power rankings heading this weekend. My ones to look out for: Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, and Alex Bowman. Those are my three to look out for. Tyler and Alex are going to be driving mad. And then Larson, he's just good at Darlington. And so is Blaney, though. But I think Blaney won last week. And it's hard to start a sentence with the word Blaney. Did not realize that with the name Blaney. Byron, he'll be top 5. Bell, top 10. This is if no Rex. Denny, top 10. Chase, top 10. Briscoe, top 10. Logano, top 15. Bowman, he'll finish top 10. Chris Buescher will finish top 10. Bubba, top 15. Ross, top 20. Cindric, top 20. Preece, top 20. And Gibbs, top 20. Is where they'll finish this week. But I wasn't keeping track, so I might have said top 10 more than 10, or top 15, and then did top 20 with 6 people. Who knows? Anyways, so you can't complain unless you have a solution. Oh, yeah, there's a problem with the points. What would be your solution? I would change the whole format. Stage racing gone. First gets 43 points. Second gets 38. If you win, though, you get a point for leading lap. So really, you come out with 44 points if you win. But 43, we're going to do some nods to some of the older guys, who started the sport. 43 being Richard Petty number. Leading the most laps can get you 2 points. Leading a lap gets you a point. And they used to do halfway, you get a point. But let's do leading a third of the way, 1 point, and leading 2/3 of the way, 1 point. So that way we have people trying to get to the front at 2 different parts of the race, and they're not stage breaks. It's not a caution. You just keep racing. There's only 1 point out there. So the winner could leave with a total of 48 points. They could have a dominant weekend. Jimmy Johnson, for the 48 points. I would keep the choose rule for cautions. I know that's not part of the point system, but I think some cases, single file restart is better for the sport. But we can't have the powers that be deciding when that time is. The cautions are a mess right now. It's like whoever's touching the yellow button is not consistent. Overtime is done away with. Now we're getting to some competitive stuff. If field can be collected at a caution, this is coming to the end of the race. The field can be collected and then stopped on the backstretch, or at least the last place car across the start finish, with, I think the way I do it in my mind is 3 laps to go. Because when we fire back up, you do the wave arounds, they come meet the back of the field. And then however the field is supposed to be lined up, you tell them to go, and then meet the pace car a little further up. Everyone's car is running. We're kind of sitting still. We're getting the field sorted. and then you let them know, hey, so yeah, 3 laps to go, because you come to the line with 3 laps to go, and you do the choose. You do the choose. You come around. There's 2 laps to go. As you're doing the choose, we got to slow the pace car down. Everyone gets their choose, and then coming to the line, we start again. So if we can get the field collected with 4 laps to go and stop them on the backstretch, we can throw the red flag. We do the wave arounds. We sort the field from the stop position. We come to the line to choose with 3 to go, and we drop the green flag with 2 to go. So I did do a short track example. So a caution comes out with 5 to go, which just ain't going to happen at a short track. Field collected with 4 to go. You're not going to collect the field in 1 lap. It's going to happen on lap 3, and then we're going to enter our caution. But let's say caution comes out, you collect the field. I mean, we just went over that. And if the caution happens, then you just it's ends in a caution. Because we've had too many people have bad finishes because they've had to come into pits for overtime finishes because they did their gas mileage to when the race was supposed to end, and then we have people who were back like in 20th, who in essence have won the race because of multiple green-white checkers. I think Joey Logano was a beneficiary of this last year somewhere, where no, it was to his detriment. I think he was top 5, and he ended up back in like finishing 24th because he had to come into pits and get some gas because he didn't have enough. So I feel like the green right checker needs to go, and the stage racing needs to go. But put points out there that give incentive of the race. Lead the most laps, lead lap, lead a third of the way, and lead 2/3 of the way. For example, a 300 lap race, lap 100, lap 200 are paying laps for a point. So you might be in a little law, but then like if someone can get close, or strategy can happen to where they can get a point. Maybe they get a point. Excuse me for that. All right. So here's how the playoffs for me would work. I wouldn't worry about what I wrote. This is notes for me to just glance at while I'm talking. Playoffs. Um, I would just do a 9 lap or 9 races at the end of the season. Top 5. But if you're within 100 points and you're out of the top 5, you're in as well. Top 5, if the fifth person is 300 points back, he's in. We can't just be having 100 points, because then we'll end up someone will end up with 2 drivers if we want to keep playoffs. When we have to rename it, we can't call it playoffs. Top 5 in points, and then after that, if 6th or 7th or 8th is within 100 points, they get in as well. At a minimum, the regular season champion starts the playoffs with 24 points ahead of everybody, unless somebody's within that 24 point mark. So, my example here is if second was 16 back and third was 21 back, it would look like this. It would look like first place would get 16 points, second place in points gets 5, and then third gets 3. Now, that's 24 points. We're looking at Jeff Gordon. Okay? So that's why I did that. So we got 43 for Richard Petty, but in essence, it's 44, but it's 43 for the win, and then you get a point for leading lap. 48 if you get all the extra points. And then for playoffs starting, this is what we get. We get a 24 point start to the playoffs. Everyone else is at 0, and then once that is set, we start handing off earned playoff points that happen through the year. So a win is worth 3 points. I mean, so there's how we get the other 7-time champion Dale Earnhardt in. But he wasn't the one who won all the time. That was Jimmy Johnson, 43. But I'm not going to hand out 43 or 48 points for a win. Finishing second through fifth, a top five finish outside of a win gets you 2 points, and then finishing sixth through 10th, a top 10 gets you 1 point. The only advantage, like I talked about earlier, is the regular season champ cannot be overtaken when points are rewarded. So, for example, if someone after playoff points were awarded ends up with 35 points, but the regular season champ ends at 33, so someone passed him with 35, he's only at 33, you would give the regular season champ those extra points to start even with that person. The playoffs would last 9 races of the year, and it would just be consistency. Like 9 races, no one's getting knocked out. 9 races, have at it. The point structure stays the same during the playoffs for the races, and there's no rounds or knockout. It's just 9 races for them. But there's other changes that I would like if I was the person ahead in NASCAR. These playoffs are a mess. I mean, in essence, Shane Van Gisbergen can win the championship. And I was thinking about this the other day. Someone could win all the races, all of them, but lose the last one and not be your NASCAR champion. It's not going to happen. You could essentially have someone be first. Well, no, because first is automatically in. If you're first in points, the regular season champion, you're automatically in. But it's second in points. You have someone second in points and have 15 other winners other than the let's see the regular season champion wins, right? And then 2 through 17 all win a race. But second place in points doesn't. Second place in points is not in. I think we got to go to points. And if we don't, 1 through 10 and points at the end of the regular season need to be locked. If we're going to keep this format, 1 through 10 need to be locked, and then 11 through 16 is winning in and then points. And not like, okay, 13th won 2 and 11th won 1, so 13th should be an 11th. No. A win gets you in, and then it's not the number of wins that matters. So, and it's got to be top 20. So 1 through 10 automatically in. 10 through 20 are fighting for the last 6 positions. But if you win, you are in, and then it's points. So it don't matter the amount of points you have. If you're 20th and you win, you're in. But if 11 through 16 have a win, you're not in. You understand what I'm saying? To me, that's a little, unless I had like an example out, that's one that's kind of, I feel like people won't get. But with that being said, I'm excited about these playoffs. I think we get to see what Shane can do. Like how much of an advantage is it for him to be a road course, juggernaut? So we're about to see how far his 4 or 5 wins can carry him. We're about to see, if RCR can really turn it on right now and get Austin Dillon out of the first round. Josh Berry got to pick it up. We're going to see if Wallace, belongs. I watching his races, he has 7 DNS. He's another one of those drivers with 7 DNS. Three of those I can blame on him. 3 of those, it's like if you're going to have to point a finger, you point it at him. I will say I have noticed any time there's any trouble, and it's not. I have noticed that when Bubba Wallace does get in trouble, we are in the Bubba Wallace fan zone right now. Kyle Larson's around him. Kyle Larson doesn't wreck him, but Kyle Larson's there. It seems like. I think Bubba has the tools. Reddick has the tools. 2311 has tools. I know. I don't care about the core things. I don't. I don't try to get into all that. I'm worried about what's happening on the track, um, and maybe some stuff on the side. But the whole court thing, that's above my head. I don't know. I don't care. Let's see. Who else we got? Byron, Briscoe, Hamlin, Chastain, and then there's. I think I was keeping track for a while. Not only does Wallace have 7 DNS, but he had a race where he had a speeding penalty late, put him a lap down. He went from like seventh or eighth to 30th. Um, he had the mishap of the tire on one. The last Atlanta race, he was involved in 3 of the wrecks. He didn't get a DNF, but he was in 3 of the wrecks. I mean, he's had. I think when I sat down and went through the races, he's been collected in a wreck in 12 or 13 different. Well, okay, 3 of those. He's been collected in 9 or 10 other wrecks, other than the 3 you could blame him for. Um, if he didn't win, and here's another thing that bothers me about Bubba Wallace has a win, so it makes his season look better than Reddick's. Reddick's having a way better season than Bubba. Wins pay, but Reddick is quietly there. When I'm watching it and both of them finish unscathed, Wallace is usually ahead of Reddick, but Reddick isn't involved as many wrecks as Wallace. As a matter of fact, Reddick only has 1 DNF. One. That's nuts. So that's why Reddick is so high in points. He finishes races. Anyways, I think that's all I got for this time. It's a little early in the morning. My back's kind of hurting. It is. My back is hurting. Um, I don't know. I just felt like I hear everyone else's opinion, and I didn't watch racing from like 2010 to 2023, so 13 years I didn't watch. I grew up. My dad was an Earnhardt fan. His best friend was a Mark Martin fan. His best friend's brother was a Bill Elliott fan. Uh, so that's the generation I grew up in. I do like the playoffs. I just don't like the way it's structured. I don't like how you get into it. Top five. At this point of the season, hardly anyone outside top five or not within that 100 points would win. But looking at the regular season points without the stage points, I can see Tyler Reddick coming on strong, getting a few wins, and then he be. So, that's just this year, though. I have to stick with what I said. Top five or 100 points get you into my playoffs. No stage points. We got 8 people getting in. No, 9. No stage points, 9. Ross Chastain misses the cut by 5 points to get in the playoffs. See, that's what I like. Right there. You got people within 100 points, 9 of them. So now not only do we have top 5, we got 9 people heading to playoffs for a 9 race shootout. Dude, come on now. Make these changes. Give us 9 races. And then what I'll do is next I'll put in, I'll make a better video, but I just want to talk about, get a couple things off my chest. And that's what I'm doing here. I love this sport. As a matter of fact, I even watch Formula One. And I'm pretty sure that's on right now. I like racing. This is the handle, I guess. At Covey G13. Yeah, just like and just like this page, subscribe to it, I guess. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know that you, I am, I'm just bland and vanilla, and none of these things work. I make no sense. My note, these are just my notes. So like, if you read my notes, it's going to look bad. Maybe I'll get a more structured format. I guess like we got to make our picks for the four getting knocked out. The four people getting knocked out in stage one, or not stage one, in round one: Austin Dillon, Josh Berry, Austin Cindric, and Ross Chastain. Dude, Ross can win. Ross could win. Austin Dillon, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, and Ross Chastain. Those are the ones getting knocked out. Anyways, subscribe to the channel, y'all. Let's have some fun together. I'm gonna start trying to do this maybe once a week. I'll see y'all next week on another left turn.